Madison, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we had you back on in 21, and a lot of things have changed since then. How you been doing, and what you been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing good. Definitely a lot of things have changed since then. I was in college still. I just graduated in May. I have a job now,
What?
and yeah, life is going on.
Your job's not shooting?
Well, part of my job is, yeah, so I just took a job at Sportsman's Finest. They came and leased out a piece of property, and we have a 12-station sporting clay course with 4 machines on each station and 3 5 stands and 4 trap and ski overlays. So I'm out here helping them getting things up and going on the shotgun side and teaching and setting targets. So yep.
Nice. Now, where's this place at?
We are located in Dripping Springs, Texas.
So
Yep.
you've relocated to Texas.
I have.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Well, you're close to a lot of shooting places out there for sure. Maybe
Yep.
is that why you won the national championship? You've been practicing in Texas?
I wouldn't say that, but definitely, getting used to the terrain and I always called them Texas targets. So that's been a little different. So
yeah, this year's been good, right? I mean, you've been a lot of places, won a lot of things, seen a lot of things.
Absolutely. Yep.
You traveled overseas a few times this year. One was to shoot FMSC in Dubai, and FMSC means what?
Fujarha Mountain Shooting Championship.
You won.
I did.
I think if I was going somewhere like that, I would just be completely lost on what to do.
Yeah. So, the process was a little challenging for Americans who were trying to sign up. I think there was some problems on their end too, but once we got registered, it was pretty easy from there. It was very organized. They had people at the airport waiting to get us at the plane, and then, they shuttled us all the way to our hotel we were staying in, and then shuttled us back to the airport. Pretty simple process once, like I said, we got past the registration part of it. I went there. I was there for about a week. The flight was long. One of the challenging parts of going to the other side of the world is the time difference. So, literally when it was daytime over here, it was nighttime over there. So that was really challenging for me because I didn't get accustomed to the time change.
Right.
So yeah, I'd go out and shoot and then come back, and I'd want to go to sleep because it would be like middle of the night at home. So, but yeah, really cool place. The terrain was amazing. Targets were really good. I think there was an issue, with target color. So shooting up against that terrain, we weren't out in the desert. We were more in mountains. A lot of cliffs. A lot of nothing in the United States represented what we shot in over there.
Right.
You could practice wherever you wanted to, but nothing close to that. And so it was really different going from where I'm from, a lot of flat land, to all this terrain. I've never shot in something like that before. So it was more of, looking at the target, moving with the target, pulling the trigger, some really big shots over there. The level of difficulty was set high, which I think is good. I think it makes it challenging. It's fun. So, yeah.
So you mean the color of the targets were orange, and the background was probably somewhat of a color orange, right?
So the background was more of a, sand color. Typical, think about color of rocks almost, because that's basically what we were shooting in. There wasn't a lot of shade over there. So we're basically shooting at just sides of mountains. So with that, from my understanding, the shipment of targets they got in, the bottoms were supposed to be black, but the bottoms were tan. So it gave everybody a challenge of just seeing the targets. I had a couple of people on my squad who never saw a target and didn't even get a chance to shoot at it, just solemnly because they did not see it due to the background.
Wow. Yeah, that probably would be challenging,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So Anyway, how was the place you stayed at there? Was it nice?
Oh wow. It was very nice. You know, they they outdid themselves for this shoot. They made sure that all their shooters, they were put in a nice hotel. I stayed at the Dress Hotel. And I have nothing bad to say about it. Everything was over the top. It was beautiful. We stayed on the beach. So that was exciting. Something to kind of look forward to after shooting. I come back to my room and go and stand and sit on the balcony and kind of just take in the views.
Well, they've always said that place is as nice as you're going to find anywhere. So,
Oh, it was really, really cool place.
so you win. How many women were shooting over there?
I'm not sure. I know there was other Americans over there. I think total Americans there was 20 of us. And I believe out of that 20, there was probably 3 or 4 of us that were females. And then overall, I don't recall how many females there were. But a lot of the big name world shooters, they were there, they were competing.
And then old Madison walks up and takes the win. Old girl from South Carolina, traveling overseas. What was your favorite thing about that place over there in general?
Getting to see somewhere new. I love to travel, so that was definitely really cool. I get to shoot and travel at the same time, 2 things I love. And really the biggest thing that kind of stuck out to me that was my favorite part was the culture. So actually at the place we were shooting at, they really included a lot of the cultural things over there, from food to
Everything. I mean, you could just look at just the way the stage was set up, like, or whatever it's called, where you win, where you go stand, that I've never been. What's that thing? The podium.
yeah.
Stuff like that, like the tables I saw pictures of in the grass. I mean, I don't know if that was real grass or not. I'm sure it wasn't, but all of that stuff out there just looked like a golf course to me.
Yeah, I mean, they did over the top for this.
A big screen, big old TV screen,
yeah,
just everything.
Absolutely.
Did you wear one of them things on your head?
I did not.
I saw some people, I think it was Joe. Joe was out riding camels around or something like that. What was he doing?
Yeah, I wanted to go do that, but I didn't get the chance to. And, that's definitely on my bucket list next time I go over there. So going back to talking about camels, so they actually had a live camel at the shooting complex. So I thought that was really cool.
It was like a petting zoo?
So pretty much, I mean, they just had one camel, but he was roped up and you could walk up to him and pet him. So yeah, that was really cool. And something else too, I believe he's the sheik. I don't want to misspeak, but he actually presented our awards to us, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It's not every day, you go to a different country and that you have the sheik presenting awards to us.
Yeah, you couldn't come over here and have ours present you an award for shooting. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. You're going back, I'm assuming, if they do it again.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for them. I'm ready for them to open up registration. I'm ready to go back next year.
So, all right. So you come back from that. What was after that?
I flew in from Dubai, and the next weekend was actually Jack Links. So, because I remember I had a lot of schoolwork to catch up on. After I finally convinced all my professors, hey, let me go to this. So yeah, I had a lot of schoolwork to catch back up on, and we headed down to Jack Links. My dad drove me down, and we shot that, and the rest of the kind of southeast shoots that were going on in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so Jack Links was right there. As soon as you got back, you probably didn't have a week or so before Jack Links, if that.
Yeah, I think I had 2 days, maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
To get ready for that.
Yeah. So you went to Jack Links. I know you won Seminole, you won Gator. We're talking about stuff down here. Yeah. And then you won North Central, I think, as well.
I did. Yep.
Yep. All right, let's talk about the world shoots, the sporting, the FITASC. You went back overseas again to shoot these, and they were 2 weeks span from from sporting to FETASC in 2 different countries?
Yes, it was. I believe I was going about 3.5. I believe I was going about 3.5 weeks. We went to England first, and then we flew from England to Hungary for the World FETASC and the World Sporting. So
That just don't, does that come, I mean, you've been to Dubai this, or wherever it's at over there, Dubai. So does going to EJ and going to Hungary, does that, I mean, it's kind of just like a shoot after that, right?
those were some really cool places. EJ is absolutely beautiful. We actually went to Jering too, over in Hungary, getting ready for the World FETAS. So that was super cool. He has a gigantic range over there. I mean, you could shoot anything. I don't remember how many machines he had, but I mean, it was, I think, well over 100 machines. Any setup you wanted, any target you wanted to shoot, it was there. And then we spent a couple of days in Budapest and touring, and the city is absolutely beautiful at night. It's all lit up. So that was really cool, seeing the Parliament building and all of that. So
Do you not get tired of this?
I don't get tired of shooting. I get tired of traveling. It's
Yeah.
definitely wear and tear on you. So yes and no to answer your question.
Yeah.
Especially if it's somewhere I've never been, like, Dubai, Hungary, England. I mean, it was really cool getting to see new places.
And then you go to the National Shooting Complex and you win the 23 national championship. I know that the national championship's probably been a goal of yours forever. So how does it feel to earn that title?
Yeah, so I've been shooting for 11 years. My dad got me into the sport. I started, me and him, we're big wing shooters. I love to go shoot ducks and doves and all that fun stuff. And he took me to the range for he took me to the range where he was shooting in a corporate shoot, and I watched. And after that, he asked me if I wanted to shoot. I fell in love with it. Haven't stopped then. This was my 7th nationals competing in it. And I remember my first nationals, I was just blown away that, oh my gosh, I'm at a national championship. Like, how cool is this? And getting to meet people and see people. I stayed for awards, and I watched how all that worked and how that happened and who won. And, I remember the first year I was there, I want to be the ladies national champion one day. That has always been a big dream of mine. And to accomplish that, it will always be one of my favorite wins, because I've put in so much time and work into this sport. There were, when I was growing up and into the sport, and when I started shooting and getting more serious into it, there was a year when my dad, he'd come home from work, he'd pick me up, and we'd head off to my local gun club. They had lights, so we turned the lights on and we shoot till 10, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, we practiced almost every day that year, and I think that was when I kind of peaked with my shooting. Repetition, just shooting a lot, and then I didn't want to stop. I wanted to be the best I could be. I wanted to be up on that podium one day, and to finally accomplish that, it's been pretty cool to reminisce and think about. I was on that podium, last Sunday, and I can't believe that was me. So yeah.
It seems to me, now correct me if I'm wrong, when did you start shooting the Krieghoff?
So I've been shooting a Krieghoff for 2 years now. October made it 2 years.
It seems to me, and I might be wrong when I say this, and correct me if it is, but since you started shooting that gun, a different Madison has come out.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, one of the biggest things, and this is kind of something I touch on with my students, is gun fit. So I've struggled with having a gun that fit me properly. And I actually just went and got a stock made from Jim Greenwood back in August. So I had been shooting my factory stock from Krieghoff for a while. I knew my stock wasn't fitting me, but I was still in college. I didn't really have extra time to take and make a trip to gyms and get my stock done. And I knew I wanted to spend the day with him, making sure that my stock was perfect, and he was able to accomplish that for me. And so having a stock that fits me now and shooting my Krieghoff, I feel like it's been the golden ticket since I've made that transition.
Are you shooting? I was watching the Super Squad, and the cameras, they zoom in. Are you still shooting a pattern stock that he made?
Yeah. So I've only had the pattern stock for a couple of months now. And I love it. So, the process was super easy. He's great gun fitter. So I definitely, I'm not planning on changing I'm not planning on changing my pattern stock. I just want to keep shooting it for a little longer.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, all right, I'm just not going to change it at all. I'm just going to leave this thing on here.
Yeah, I am getting a finished stock here in the future. But yeah, I mean, my pattern stock is great. I love my pattern stock. It fits me. At the end of the day, I don't really care how pretty the piece of wood is that the pattern stock is made out of. What I do care about is that my gun fits me.
That's right. I said that to somebody the other day. They're talking about how nice, oh man, that wood looks good. I said, yeah, it looks good, but does it fit? I mean,
right.
I mean, the people that are competing at your level, and Zach and Brandon and all, yeah, they like nice wood, but they would prefer the gun fit them better, and it be just look like plywood than just to have
Absolutely.
a nice piece of wood that don't fit. So. All right, so let's talk about nationals some more. How did you prepare for this? Did you prepare for any of this stuff up a week or two before, or what did you do?
Yeah, so between the time of the South Central Regional and Nationals, I didn't get to practice as much as I wanted to. I think I practiced 4 times in between that time period. And, going into Nationals, it was more of I need to be mentally prepared than I do physically shooting. I know how to shoot my shotgun, but what I need to do is mentally, start thinking about these things before I even get there. So before I even left to go to nationals, I had made my mind up that I was going to go there, shoot my game, look at the target, move with it, pull the trigger, not have that question mark above my head about, I'm a little unsure about this. I don't really know. I promised myself that I was going to go there and be free and feel like my gun and me were one together, and I was just going to move with the target and pull the trigger. So I didn't get to practice that much, but mentally I feel like I prepared myself for the shoot.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are at the top that don't practice any before they go to nationals, or they don't practice as much as you really think they would. Maybe that's the trick. You didn't get to practice as much as you wanted to, and half the other people don't practice at all.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like it's the end of the year. It's the last shoot. It's the national championship. You would just assume everybody's out shooting just flats of shells, but it seems like that they're, you shot a little bit, and some people didn't shoot at all. And I know Brandon told me that he didn't practice for 14 days or something like that before nationals. I mean, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did the wind and the temperature change and the rain affect? I mean, how did that weather have an effect on you, or did it?
Yeah. So, I mean, it rained. I feel like I got lucky. I only shot half of my FTAS in the rain. And when I say in the rain, it wasn't, downpour. It rained for a few minutes, and then it turned into a drizzle, and then it stopped. So I got lucky when it came to my shoot times compared to the times it was raining. But yeah, I mean, the biggest struggle for me is I don't mind shooting in the rain, but I want to be able to see, and it's kind of hard to clearly see through your glasses when you have rain hitting your lenses. So, it was super muddy, so everybody has mud all over them, and it's raining and it's windy. Those are things that you just have to put in the back of your head, not think about,
Mm-hmm.
completely get rid of it and shoot your game. You can't let the mud or the wind affect your score, because at the end of the day, everybody's shooting in these conditions. Now everybody might not be shooting in the rain, but that's part of the reason why we had the super squads, was because everybody at the top of this game, they're going to have the same course to shoot in the same weather conditions.
Yep. I'm glad they did that. I can remember, and you probably do too, you know, a few years back when this guy would win. Well, he shot it on a different rotation. Well, they can't say that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So I like the fairness that the super squad plays into the national championship, and really some of the regionals too. I wish they'd honestly do a super squad at every big shoot. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too, because we go to some of these shoots, and it, at the end of the day, your game is your game, and you can't change what the weather's doing. But I do think it plays a more fairness for the sport, as far as weather conditions. So I agree with you.
Yeah. What did you think about the course being changed to a different location the final day? Did you like that better?
So I liked it better. So going into my last day of shooting, I got there early. I kind of wanted to be by myself. So shooting on the green course the last day, it's more open. There's more space. You aren't right on top of each other. So it kind of gave me the ability, I could kind of go sit in the middle. Where there's plenty of room. I wasn't right up on top of somebody. So I did like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I watched, like I said earlier, I watched the super squad, and you can see the targets. They're just, the wind's just blowing them everywhere. You were on station 7. I think you finished on station 7 from what I
Yes,
can
we
remember.
started on station 8 and finished on 7.
There you go. Okay. So you shot that target backwards. If you remember that target, you remember that target, that pair?
Yeah. So we got up there, and when we were watching the show pairs, it was so windy. When the target was on its way back down, it was landing basically right back at the machine where it
Mm-hmm.
was being thrown from.
Yeah.
And Desi got up there and she shot it on the way down. Her targets, they were very similar to the show pairs. And then Karen got up there and she shot on the way down. Her targets were a little further out than Desi's. I got up there and, I was going to shoot it on the way down because the wind was just whipping and it was pushing the targets back in. I got up there to shoot, and when I did, I called pull. Wind died down just enough that, that big teal, it wasn't going, the same place every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So I shot my first 2 pairs, my first shot on the way down. Last pair, I shot it on the way up. I wasn't going to cost myself a national championship because I didn't shoot the target the way it was intended. Even though the wind played a factor in it, when we looked at them, that was the way to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got up there to shoot, I probably made the wrong call on the first 2 targets, and that's okay. At the end of the day, I got the job done.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at scores, and you had 2 huge days, a 71 and a 73. And that last day, you fell off a little bit, which is expected. I mean, everybody did. And, I know going through that course, running through your mind, you're thinking, oh man, I got to really, the day I need to do well is the day it's not, I mean, nobody's doing well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So what did you end up winning by on that last station?
So I won. It came down to my last pair. I knew I had to hit both. Yeah, I knew I had to hit both of my targets. I started off good. I shot 71. Next day, I had an okay day. Wasn't my best. Dropped a few targets on one station that I shouldn't have dropped, but that's okay. Third day, I shot 73, my best day. I felt really good about my round.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last day, going into my last day, I had a 5 target lead. So I knew I just had to get up there and do my thing. look at the targets,
Yep.
pull the trigger. And looking back now, the wind played a factor in some of our shots. Everybody's. I mean, it changed targets.
Mm-hmm.
Targets were everywhere. I actually showed up in shorts because earlier that day it was 80 degrees outside, and literally I drive out to the course, and I've been sitting out there for about 15 minutes, and then the temperature drops like a rock. I mean, it got down to like 50 degrees, and I was cold because I wasn't prepared for the temperature to drop like that. I knew it was going to get cooler throughout the day. I didn't think that early. So I didn't have a pair of pants to put on. I just had shorts and my shirt. And thankfully Ryan Holmes showed up about halfway through, and he gave me his jacket because I was freezing.
Oh, I'm sure. So you have to hit the last two targets to win the national championship.
Yep.
If you drop one, you tie.
Yes.
All right. So let's put it to you like this for the people listening. You're shooting around with 80 of the best shooters in the country. Okay. You've got a film crew out there running around getting up in your face. All right. You have to hit both of these targets to win the national championship. It's cold. The wind's blowing everywhere. How do you do it? I mean, you walk up there knowing you have to hit. I mean, what's going through your mind?
And throughout my round, starting my round that day, I was almost too calm. I wasn't amped up enough. There's a fine line between being amped up just enough and too much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't find that little bit of adrenaline rush that I needed. And, I didn't start off the best on my last day. I dropped 3 targets on my first station. And I was like, that's okay. I'm fine. We still have 9 more stations to go. And by the time I had gotten around to my last station, I knew that I had to do it right here. This was the last chance to do it. And I got in the station. I made a game plan before I walked in there. My plan didn't work. And so I changed my plan and got in there, took a deep breath, called pull, and I let my eyes do the work, and my gun followed and pulled the trigger. My first target broke, and then found my second target, went to it, pulled the trigger, and it was like, wow, I just did that. And that's something really special, and all the filming guys out there and the cameras, I don't think it necessarily puts pressure on us. So, most of all the top shooters, they have sponsors. So when we're at the regionals and other shoots, there's cameras. So I think a lot of that we aren't bothered by because we see that often.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you won. Bottom line, you won. And it was tough. It was tight. I mean, the girls, all 5 of you right there in the top 5 were pretty close. I mean, it was, it looked like it was tight for sure the whole time. So how is it shooting with those girls?
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I love all the girls I got to shoot with this past weekend. I had really good squads. We got in there, we did our thing. At the end of the day, we all had a good time. I've made some really good friends in this sport, and being able to shoot with those girls, yeah, it puts us all out of our comfort zone a little bit because we don't shoot with each other regularly, besides for the super squads at nationals and the open, and making Team USA, you'll shoot with your squad for the World English. But most of the time we don't shoot with each other, and I think part of that is the competitiveness. It puts that little bit of pressure on us. Oh, well, I missed one but she didn't, and you can't be thinking like that. And I think that one thing that I had promised myself this weekend, going into the national championship, was I'm not going to go in there being scared. I'm not going to lose because I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously we're shooting against the best of the best. You know, they're right there in front of you shooting, and it's hard to not know where somebody is compared to you score wise. And being able to mentally block that out when you get in the box, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you did it all. I mean, you won it. So, which one do you want to win next?
So I've won the U.S. Open
Mm-hmm.
for 22, and I won the Nationals for 23. You know, one really big shoot that I would like to win would be a world championship. That would ultimately check off everything from my bucket list.
I thought you was going to say Georgia State or something like that. So now that the season's over, right? What are your plans until the next season starts, till 24 starts?
I'm actually going to take a little bit of a break from shooting clays, and I'm going to do a little bit of hunting. Obviously, I have a job, so I'm going to be working, giving lessons. But I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go on a big deer hunt. I'm really excited about. So yeah, but after that, I'm gearing up for duck season. I'm really, really excited about that. That's my favorite hunting. So
Where are you going to shoot a deer?
I'm going to Arizona to go shoot a coos deer.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yep.
So where do you duck hunt? Are you going to duck hunt in Texas? Where do you normally go duck hunt? Arkansas?
Yeah, so I do a little bit of duck hunting in South Carolina.
Okay.
But mainly Arkansas. I love it out there. It feels like my home away from home. I love sitting in a duck blind. And the best part about duck hunting for me is watching my lab work. She loves it. And, it's not about killing ducks. It's about being out there and enjoying time with my dad and my sister.
Yeah.
So that's something we've all done together. So it's really special to me.
I don't think did I know you have a sister? I didn't know that. How old is she?
She's 16.
Is she not shooting?
She shoots a little bit. She's not as big into it as I am. She does enjoy it every now and then, but yeah.
Okay. So she's got her own thing she likes to do then.
She does. She dances, so that's her thing.
I do that sometimes. So what do you do in your free time? Say during the shooting season or when it isn't the shooting season, what do you do in your free time? Is it just everything to do with shooting? Do you have any other hobbies that you like to do?
Well, like I said, I enjoy hunting.
Yep.
I think that's kind of my home away from home. It's probably a big factor of it.
You don't like shopping or nothing like that?
I don't have time to go shopping. That's what Amazon is for. That's why I can go online and buy whatever I need.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the same thing I say. They're never out of it and they bring it to you.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. So you graduated from Clemson. I know you've got a degree, but what you want to do in the future has everything to do with the sport, it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. So ultimately, one day I want to own my own gun club.
Yeah.
I want to be able to continue traveling and shooting and be successful, stay in the industry. I think that's really important for me to stay in the industry. It's what I grew up in. It's really impacted my life, and that's what I plan to continue my job in. So yeah.
So you're coaching, and if somebody wants to get a hold of you for that, Facebook's probably the easiest way to find you, I would assume, and just get a hold of you. Yeah
Absolutely.
So okay, just do that. If you're looking for lessons from the national champion, then go find her on Facebook. All right, so this year I want to talk about this too, because I know that it's helped you out. This year you've gained some good sponsors. You might have had them last year, maybe towards the end, maybe, I don't know. Clarify that for me, who they are and how they've helped you in your career so far.
Yeah, so I recently picked up Sportsman's Finest. I'm also working for them, but they really have helped me to be able to go to the shoots. They allow me for my travel and be able to work. And that's a really hard thing to do in this industry when you're a shooter and you're also working. So being able to find that balance between time and work, time with shooting and work. But yeah, so they've allowed me to be able to chase my dreams and follow my heart with that. At the beginning of the year, I started with Krieghoff. So that's awesome that they support me and everything I do, and helping me in my shooting journey. I've been with Alamo Sporting Arms based out of Texas for 2 years now. Pam and Mike are wonderful. I can't speak highly enough of them. And then Remington, I've been with them for almost 2 years now. They, they provide me with the best shells on the market. I love the nitros, low recoil. Pure Gold, I've been with them. They're actually my first sponsorship that I got, and Mr. Bill is very special. He was a friend before I became a sponsor shooter of his. I've known him since the time I started shooting. I actually bought my first choke from him.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Shooting Accessories, Mr. Dan, he provides the best vest there is. And here recently, right after Nationals, Mr. Jim Moses, he reached out to me. And so now I'm working with the Kids in Clays, which is an awesome organization that gives back to the Ronald McDonald House.
You're on the right track. I appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to get all your information, put it in the show notes. And if anybody needs some lessons from the woman herself, then go on over there and get it. So I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. See ya.